It is an honor to share with you my study entitled Perceptions Towards English-Speaking Policy of Selected Students in a Philippine Public Secondary School. I am Myla Suguitan, an English teacher of Bukal National High School in the municipality of Maragondon.
Globalization.
In the Philippines, the fast-paced globalization tremendously encouraged the Filipinos to improve the English-speaking campaign in schools and workplaces. Being good and competent in speaking English can give a great contribution for a better economy, especially now that this country has increased its efforts to encourage foreign investors to come. There will be a greater demand for English-speaking workforce. These things motivate the education system to strategize policies in the realization of its objectives of improving the achievement rate of the students. Language policy refers to the rules, beliefs, and practices intended to achieve a planned change in the language used in one or more communities. The purpose of the current study is to examine the perceptions of public secondary students on the language policy in school. English-speaking policy requires them to speak English during classes, especially on English subjects, science, and mathematics, and while on the English zones of Bukal National High School is situated in Bukal 2, Maragondon, Cavite. The following are the research questions of this study. Number 1, what perceptions do the students of public high school have towards the English-speaking policy? Number 2, how do the students of public high school differ in perceptions according to their grade level and section? And number 3, what implications may be deduced from the analysis of data towards the school's language policy? To examine the perceptions of the public secondary students about the English-speaking policy, 3 aspects were considered in this descriptive survey research. The participants were composed of 1,032 students across grade levels and class programs. The survey used in this study was patterned from the study of Reyes in 1990 entitled Attitude, Inclination, and Motivation Toward the Learning of English Among High School Freshmen and Sophomores of Central Luzon Polytechnic College. Also, the researcher got an idea from the instrument used by Visconde in 2010 in her study Attitudes of Student Teachers towards the use of English as language of instruction for science and mathematics in the Philippines. The survey comprised 25 questions, was a 5-point Likert scale that varied from strongly agree to strongly disagree. For item numbers 6, 7, and 25, in international conferences, the Filipino can participate in discussions well because he can communicate in English. People are better informed of events in the country and abroad through the use of English, and this language policy improves the communicative competence of the students in English. In all of these items, the participants strongly agreed, for they believe on its positive effects that it could help them globally competitive. Hence, the public secondary school students have constructive perceptions about the English-speaking policy, for they are looking forward to become participants about international issues if they develop communicative competencies in English. Moreover, for item numbers 1 to 5, 8 to 12, 14 to 15, and 23 to 24, the respondents agreed. The results show that the public secondary students believe that English-speaking policy is an effective strategy to help them develop their skills in English. They believe that English should be the medium of instruction for the learning areas such as English, math, and science and technology. They like the language policy, for they have instrumental reasons for learning and speaking the language despite they have difficulty in it. On the other hand, item numbers 13, 16 to 19, 21 to 22 got fair results. This shows that they believe that English-speaking policy does not mean Filipino subcolonial mentality. English is a complex language to learn, and it neither makes one popular nor earns many likes in social media posts. Also, they believe that this policy does not hinder them in expressing their thoughts to their teachers. Finally, for item number 20, the respondents disagreed. They do not believe that speaking English is only to impress their English teachers. This figure shows that the computed weighted means by grade level of the respondents have almost the same value. Therefore, it is true to say that majority of the students have the same perceptions towards the language policy based on their grade levels. This figure shows a difference on the computed weighted means of the respondents based on their class programs. This illustrates that the special science curriculum class has more positive perceptions than the basic education curriculum class. From this study, three interesting findings are worth some special attention. First, numerous institutions have implemented English-speaking policy, for the school administrations believe that it would help their students hone their communicative competencies in English. Second, students perceive the language policy positively, though they demonstrate difficulties in mastering the language. And last, because the students have instrumental reasons for learning and using English, they perceived language significant in the teaching-learning process. Language policymakers had an efficient action in implementing English-speaking policy, for it earns positive perceptions and support among its target speakers. Because public secondary students have different intellectual levels, the intelligent ones who are in the SSC or Special Science Curriculum showed enthusiasm in using English as medium of instruction and in having interaction with teachers and colleagues. On the other hand, the students in basic education curriculum who have difficulty in using the language for learning and for communication still showed their support in the policy. Speaking English policy would be a great contribution to help Filipinos to connect to the world, and it does not lead to the decay of their cultural heritage. As a recommendation, school administrations could mandate now this kind of language policy to better achieve the goal of the Department of Education, which is to make each student a functional learner and to acquire lifelong learning. That's all. Thank you.